Hello, my name is Anna and I love trying vintage recipes. So today I'm trying 3 recipes for cream cheese appetizers from 1981. Today's recipes come to us from the Philadelphia brand Cream Cheese Cookbook 100th Anniversary Edition. And I'll talk more about this book a little bit later. When it comes to party snacks and appetizers, cream cheese is a really great place to start. If you have a block of cream cheese in your refrigerator, you can add things to it and make it really special. Who can forget the block of cream cheese with the red pepper jelly? Scoop that up with some crackers and we're in business. One of my favorite things to do is take a block of softened cream cheese, add a little bit of salsa and whip it up and then serve it with tortilla chips. It's delicious. With football season in full swing and the holidays right around the corner, you might need something to take to a potluck or a gathering. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with a tropical cheese ball. So that is my recipe for the tropical cheese ball. I happen to love pineapple and cheese together, so I think this is gonna be really good. Combine softened cream cheese and pineapple, mixing until well combined. So I've got my 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, and then I have 8 ounces of crushed pineapple that I've drained really, really well. Honestly, I can almost eat this right now. I don't know how much else I need. I could spread this on crackers and be pretty happy about it. But we do have other ingredients to add. 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. So 2 cups is 8 ounces. And I'm debating whether I want to try to do this with a mixer. I think I'm going to start with just a spatula to mix in and see how it goes. And then half of a cup of chopped pecans, classic cheese ball ingredient. I feel like we don't have cheese balls often enough anymore. I feel like they were a big staple of my childhood growing up, like seeing them at parties, especially around the holidays. I'm sure people still have them, but I don't know. I feel like I'm seeing them less and less. Let's bring cheese balls back. After the pecans comes 1/4 cup of dried apricots, or apricots, whatever, that I have chopped up. And then this ingredient I'm pretty excited about. It is a teaspoon of chopped up crystallized ginger. I think that's gonna give it some really delightful flavor. I love ginger. All right, let's see, can we do this or do we need the hand mixer? Yeah, let's see what we go with the hand mixer. Okay, that's making quick work of all of this stuff. Oh dear, this is gonna be a large, a large cheese ball. I'm gonna have to have a party or something. That is what we have so far, and I need to chill this for a little while before I form it into a ball. All right, so there is my mixture. I probably let this chill for about 20 minutes, and now I'm going to use some plastic wrap to help me form this into a ball. It's just, if you're making one big cheese ball, it's just a really easy way to do it. I made tiny cheese balls in my Dollar Tree video a very long time ago, but I'll go ahead and link that in the description if you haven't watched it. And that I used my hands just to roll them and make them smaller. So it's a little bit of a different method. I'm gonna plop this here. I'm making like all the party foods today. That's such a massive amount. I'm giving this away for sure. You can kind of mold it. You bring up the edges of the plastic wrap. You can kind of like shape it with your hands a little bit more easily. Yep, we're doing it. We're making it. You can put just about anything you want in a cheese ball, even if it's just like very simple seasonings like seasoned salt and some cheese. Those are very tasty. You can get really creative with it if you want to, more like this one. But yeah, basically it's like cream cheese, seasoning, cheddar cheese. So I kind of like the shape of that. And it said in the recipe that you could roll this in toasted coconut if desired. I don't desire that. I'm gonna roll this in some additional chopped pecans because that's how I remember cheese balls looking when I was a kid. So now I'm gonna lay out a little bit of wax paper. I chopped some extra pecans when I was prepping ingredients. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna need more. I'm gonna plop that right in there. I also like rolling, a cheese ball in additional cheese, or you could do parsley. That would be a really good one. I've also seen at Christmas time, especially, where people take sliced almonds and they kind of layer it into an almost like pine cone shape. I think that's really fun. Takes a little more work than what I'm doing, for sure. I brought in some additional pecans here to sort of smash onto the sides. This is a great thing that you can also make ahead. I mean, I don't know if this particular one is the one that you want to make because I've never tried it, but I'm saying cheese balls in general, great thing to make ahead of time to take to a party. Or you can also make these and give them as gifts. Okay, I'm gonna continue to just make sure this is evenly covered and then I'll be ready to give it a taste. There it is. It's just to serve this cheese ball with crackers. Obviously, that's pretty traditional. I personally love wheat thins for this. I think they're nice and sturdy. They do hold up quite well and they go really well with cream cheese. I'm just gonna dig in here with a little spreader. Make sure you have something like this. I'm just moving all the crackers off of the plate. So that is what I am going to be trying. Right away I tasted that ginger. Even that tiny little, just 1 teaspoon of diced up candied ginger really made itself known in this, but I think it's delicious. It's creamy, it's toasty because of those pecans. This would also be great on maybe like a club cracker or a Ritz or something like that. It's sweet, but not too sweet, you know? And it's a little bit different. It's savory and sweet at the same time. It's a great combination if you ask me. Well, I'm gonna have one more bite. I keep making myself little bites of this, but yeah, I'm gonna go for one more. Next up, I'm trying out this hot beef dip. Sauté onion and margarine. Confession, this is butter. I almost never buy margarine unless I absolutely need it for something, and usually I can sub in butter. Although some people in my comments have told me to stop using margarine. Folks, I use butter for pretty much everything. Oh, my comments, they're something else, I tell you what. And I'm not saying margarine is like, you know, oh no, I'm so against it. I just don't want to buy both margarine and butter. Next up, I have 1/4 cup of diced onion. I really want this to get soft because I think it will be a much more enjoyable experience. It says add cream cheese and milk, stir over low heat until cream cheese is melted. So this is 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese that I attempted to cube. It didn't go great, as you can see, because I didn't realize I needed to cube it. It's all gonna melt together anyway, so it's gonna be fine. And then I have a cup of milk here. And I'm cooking this over low heat. So we're gonna stir until that's melted. And fun fact, I'm pretty sure, sorry, there's stuff on it. I think this is the plate design that my parents got as a wedding gift. I remember having these when I was a kid. Later on in life, I thrifted 4 of these tiny plates just for, you know, nostalgia's sake. So I'll ask my mom and confirm if this is like their, you know, plates that they got at their wedding. All right, so everything is nice and smooth at this point, which means it is time to stir in the remaining ingredients. So that is a can of mushrooms. You know, I grew up eating canned mushrooms, and then somewhere along the way when I became an adult, I stopped buying them. 2.5 ounces of smoked sliced beef that I diced up. I'll pop in a photo of what I used here. It's like those little packets of lunch meat. I can't really describe them any other way. I also have 1 ounce of grated Parmesan cheese, and then 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley. It's looking pretty great. I'm excited to give it a try. Just to give you a little bit of close-up, kind of, of what that looks like. I don't want to dump it out. It doesn't have exactly all of the same ingredients, but it kind of reminds me of the Philly fondue I made back, I don't know how long ago now. It smells so good in here. It smells like a party. Like you, crock pots full of hot dips, you know, sign me up. So I'm very ready to give this a taste. These are just kettle chips. The serving suggestion was to serve it with chips. I think this would be really good with like bread, maybe like naan dippers or some like dark rye. That's good. I like that a lot. There's no additional seasoning in here. It doesn't need it. That smoked beef is salty enough. I think if I made this again, I'd probably dice up the mushrooms a little bit more. You know, it's hard to get one. They're kind of in big pieces. I think this would be a perfect thing to put in a little crock pot or your little dipper if you have one like I do, just to keep it warm before you serve it. I think this would be great at any kind of cool weather function. I mean, you could serve it in the summer, but I always think of dips in the summer as maybe more like cold things. This is pretty hearty. I think this would be well received at any gathering. Next up, I'm making snack squares. I did some prep work with this. I went ahead and I baked my crust a little ahead of time because it needed some time to cool. The crust is probably pretty obviously refrigerated crescent rolls, and I'm cutting this recipe in half. So normally you would need 1 8-ounce container of refrigerated crescent rolls. I have been able to find these small 4-ounce cans, and that is really great for someone with a small household, whether you're making it into something else or you're eating them as crescent rolls. So I popped the container open to the best of my ability and separated the crescent rolls into 2 rectangles. And then I put these on just a small sheet pan, a small ungreased sheet pan, and I started to sort of pinch the perforations together and then press this down into the pan and press the sides up just a little ways. And then I went ahead and baked this and let it cool. And that's what we have here. So normally you would use a can of 8 crescent rolls, or now we have the crescent roll sheets, which are just amazing if you're gonna do something with a crust, and you would press that into like a regular sheet pan, but this is perfectly sized for what I am doing. The recipe says to bake the crust for 15 to 20 minutes. I thought that's way too long. So I actually went as directed on the can and I baked this for 12 minutes and it's nice and golden brown. So now that I have my crust all ready, it's time to make the topping. Let's combine remaining ingredients, mixing until well blended. My remaining ingredients include an 8-ounce container of soft cream cheese spread, and then 3 strips of cooked and crumbled bacon, and some grated Parmesan cheese. As I said, I'm cutting this recipe in half, but I will have the full recipe in the description down below, as I always do. And then I have some green onion. What a fantastic combination we have here. All my ingredients are in there, and I'm gonna just mix these up with a hand mixer. You could probably, this is very soft, you could probably do this with a spatula or a spoon. I already had my hand mixer out, so that's what I'm gonna do. Again, I feel like this is another combination of ingredients. This mixture by itself would be really great just spread on crackers, you know? Like you could just make this and do that. But we're gonna spread it on a crust and cut it into squares. And it just says to spread this over the crust. This is kind of reminding me of a really popular like appetizer / party snack that I've eaten since I was a kid. Like it always showed up at like baby showers, bridal showers, you know, any occasion like that. And basically it's a crust of crescent rolls like this, and then you take softened cream cheese and you mix it with ranch dressing seasoning or powder and spread that on the crust, and then you top it with a little bit of shredded cheese and lots of cold vegetables. Oh my gosh. That is so nostalgic for me. I still love it. There's a grocery store here that, you know, makes it, and you can buy like one small piece of it so that I don't have to make an entire batch. I still do make it sometimes to take to different occasions, and it's really delicious. If you've had that before, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it. It just says that you cut and eat this. I kind of want to, I think I'm gonna chill this for maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes just to see if it'll harden up. I feel like the cream cheese is just so soft that I think it will cut easier if I do chill it. So I'll be back in a little bit. So I have a couple of these snack squares, and you'll kind of notice, you can see it a little bit. It's like kind of nice and flaky on that crust. You can really smell the bacon and chives. Very good combination. These kind of make me think of, I'm not exactly sure of the name of the recipe, but I'll pop in a photo of the thumbnail here. They were like pinwheels, and I think they were from Jiffy Cooking, the Better Homes and Gardens cookbook. But they were pinwheels with crescent dough with bacon and cream cheese. I think they maybe had some garlic salt in them. And that's what this reminds me of, at least, you know, ingredients and appearance wise. But I need to give it a taste to find out if it really does compare. Really delicious. Oh my gosh. I'm very glad that I cut these small. because these are super rich. The cream cheese is very thick. I think you could almost go a little less cream cheese if you wanted to. You don't have to. I think I could probably cut these in half. So the full recipe was supposed to make 36 squares. So I cut mine into 18 squares, not very evenly, mind you. I probably could have done better at that. But I think, you know, these could probably be even a little bit smaller because they're delicious, but they are kind of like a heavier, more rich like appetizer. But there's a nice crunch in there from the bacon and those really crisp green onions. I think that amount of green onions is perfect because if you want any more, the flavor would be too strong. You could even save a little bit of time on this if you wanted to by either buying pre-cooked bacon and like chopping it, or just get the real bacon bits and mix them into. You could do that. These also kind of give me a little bit of like a tea sandwich vibe, even though they're not sandwiches. The crescent roll dough is on the softer side, kind of like a soft white sandwich bread. And then with the cream cheese, you could do like a cucumber spread and put it on top of crescent rolls with cream, you know, there's a lot of possibilities here. I think this is a great recipe, but you could even kind of customize it further if you would like. Today's recipes came from the Philadelphia brand Cream Cheese Cookbook. This book was originally published in 1981 for the 100th anniversary of Philadelphia cream cheese. I'm getting a little bit more into 1980s recipes lately, like more so than I used to, mostly because that's when I was born. So I have a lot of nostalgia for that time period. I have a lot of good memories, especially food memories connected to that decade of the 80s. So I focused on snacks for this video, but this cookbook has a lot more than snacks. It is extensive. Yes, we have appetizing appetizers, but we also have super snacks and sandwiches. That's where the snack squares came from, but also sandwiches. So like a sandwich spread made of cream cheese, very delicious. Special salads and dressings, superb soups and sauces. That sounds like it would be really fun to explore. And I mean, like, it just keeps going on, like more and more stuff. Of course, there's a chapter that is just about cheesecakes, but we also have side dishes, breads, pies. There's even a little section that is called Table for Two that focuses on recipes in small quantities, and you know how much I love that. So I'm looking forward to exploring this cookbook even more. I just wanted to work within a theme because, you know, I love a theme. I thought this was a really good time of year to focus on things like appetizers and snacks. As we get a little bit closer to the fall and winter holidays, you know, we're having more gatherings, we're having more family functions, potlucks, that kind of thing. And so it's always good to have a few new ideas up your sleeve. And I think starting with cream cheese is just kind of like a good idea anyway. So I mentioned at the beginning of this video a couple of my favorite like really easy things to make from cream cheese as snacks or something to take to a party. But this book has even more ideas, and we also get treated to a lot of wonderful photographs. This is from the sandwich section, and it is the party egg sandwich loaf. So you make an entire loaf of these, and then you slice them and they end up looking gorgeous like that. I don't think mine would look that gorgeous. I think they had a good food stylist, but I bet they're delicious. Cream cheese just kind of like adds that extra delicious flavor to things. So we've got some really great soups in here. There's a recipe for a broccoli soup, a corny cheese soup. That sounds amazing to me. Very similar to like a street corn casserole. That's something that I love to make. Usually have it for our Friendsgiving celebration. That uses mayonnaise, you know, like you would normally in street corn. This uses cream cheese, but I bet that's really tasty. Oh my gosh, party potato bake. Oh, do I need to make another video with this book? Sweet potato casserole. I love sweet potatoes, and you know, I've had them a lot of different ways. I don't know that I've ever had them with cream cheese. Oh, that sounds so great. This book might make another appearance because there's so many things I want to try in it. I didn't even mention the wonderful binding that it has. It's got my favorite kind of binding. It lays flat, really has a ton of recipes in it. Creamy turkey tetrazzini. I do love a turkey tetrazzini. That is a great way to use up your Thanksgiving leftovers. There is a section on just breads, and those look so tempting. Those look so good. We've got Treasure Bran muffins. Oh my gosh. I think these might be the Treasure Bran muffins. And so it's like a bran muffin with like a cream cheese topping. Oh, this sounds so good. I think I need to do this one again in the future. We've got scones. We've got, this would be great for right now, pumpkin cheese bread. That does sound good. I'm assuming that's the pumpkin cheese bread. I bet that is so delicious with the addition of cream cheese. Elegant cheesecakes. I mean, we cannot have a Philadelphia cream cheese cookbook without some elegant cheesecakes including sweet potato cheesecake. Heck yes. Pumpkin cheesecake. Hollywood cheesecake, what is that? I think it's cheesecake with like a sour cream layer. I think Sara Lee cheesecakes have that. Metropolitan cheesecake. Okay. So it's a small book, but it's really packed with good recipes, I think. I mean, I've only tried 3 of them, but the outlook is good that I will be trying more of them. As for the recipes that I tried, all 3 really delicious, like A+ on those. I did want to provide a little bit of an update on the hot beef dip. Is that what it was called? Yes, hot beef dip. So the original serving suggestion was to eat it with potato chips, which I did on camera, and it was tasty. It was really good. I think I mentioned that I thought it would also be good with bread. I did get a little bit of just like bakery Italian bread that I could rip into pieces and use, you know, that as a vehicle for the hot beef dip. I liked that even better. Taste-wise and texture-wise, like the potato chips maybe competed a little bit with the flavors of the hot beef dip, but served with a bread, it just elevated it so much. I would suggest if you're gonna try that recipe, try it with some like Hawaiian rolls or Italian bread or even some rye bread, something like that. I mean, I thought it was way better that way. The tropical cheese ball, right up my alley. I tasted the ginger right away when I sampled that one, but I would like to add a little more ginger. I mean, I could tell it was there, but I think I would even like a bit more of a spicy ginger punch. The crystallized ginger was really, really good in that one. It complemented everything. It made a pretty big cheese ball too. I know that some cheese ball recipes start with 2 packages of cream cheese. This one started with 1 package of cream cheese, and it was pretty gigantic. I did end up giving some of these things away for other people to try. A little bit different, a little bit sweet and savory. I love pineapple with cheese anyway, so that one was a winner for me. I think some people might be a little bit apprehensive to try it, maybe, I don't know. And then those snack squares, oh my gosh, so good, so easy. It was great with the bacon and the chives. I mean, it was great as is. I really enjoyed it, but you could add more things to it. You could change up, you know, if you want to add a little bit of a different seasoning to it. And I think you could probably, I think I mentioned this, you could just make the spread and then put it on whatever you want. If you want to use it as like a sandwich spread and make little finger sandwiches, or you could eat it on crackers, pretty much anything. That one was the only recipe that included like the tub of soft spreadable cream cheese versus like the bar of cream cheese. I think that makes it soft enough that you could probably even like just scoop it up with chips or crackers, whatever. You wouldn't even need to spread it. I think all 3 of these recipes are keepers for me. I hope this video gave you a few, you know, different ideas, new ideas on some different like party appetizers and snacks for the upcoming holidays. Or maybe it reminded you of a recipe that you used to make that you haven't made in a long time. If you love party food like I do, I have an entire playlist and I will link it in the description down below. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post videos about food, vintage cookbooks, and retro recipes every week. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.